Hey traders, Akil Stokes here, Forex trader and head trading coach over at TradeEmpower.com. And today I want to take a few minutes to walk you through a big trade that we recently took in my live trading room. Now, like many of the other trades that you see me take, it's actually very simple. There's nothing really fancy about the opportunity other than having the knowledge and really having the skill to read a price chart and really identify with what price action is doing and what price action has done. So here's a look at the trade we took on the euro yen. And please just don't pay attention to the actual trade. Pay attention to the psychology as well, as I'm going to throw in a little conversation that we had in our live room as far as not sabotaging your trading. So check it out. As always, let me know what you think by leaving a comment below. And if you like what you see, take a second and hit that like button or subscribe if you're brand new. Hope you guys enjoy, and as always, plan your trade, trade your plan. So we're here looking at the euro yen trade. We're going to work a little bit backwards, mainly because I just noticed while editing this video that I don't have recorded footage of when we actually took the trade. I have some recorded footage from our live trading room of right after we took the trade, and we were talking about target placement. But because the trade kind of popped up on us pretty quickly, I didn't actually hit the record button because, well, that's the least of my concerns when I'm looking for a trading opportunity, right? I know I do a lot of YouTube videos and stuff, but I am a trader first, guys. So I want to take a time to go back and just explain to you why I took the trade. But very interesting. It's Wednesday night, about 8 o'clock right now, and we're hovering right below my target twos. My secondary targets are right up here at my upper DSR level, right around 133.42s. And you can see price action is about 10 or so pips away. And we're really doing the same type of battle, or having the same type of battle that we had earlier at target ones. Of course, you guys haven't seen that yet, but you will a little bit later on in the video. But anyway, stops have been rolled up again. I already took first target profit, so money is already in the bank. I've rolled up my secondary, rolled up my stops. So the worst case scenario is I bank another 100 pips on my secondary targets. And well, again, it's just a very comfortable position to be in. And whenever you put some money in your account, it's funny how it's easy to be more disciplined because, you know, it's a win-win scenario. But going back to the basics, we started looking at this on a 4-hour chart, and this goes from really a few weeks ago. We noticed that price action was consolidating around the $1.32 level, and we just kept testing this level. You can see that we had a nice little double bottom right here at this level. Again, look left, structure leaves clues. We sort of rallied off of that. Originally, I thought we were looking at some sort of a flag formation, and we just ended up going sideways again before eventually testing this level once again down here. Now, here's the important part that stood out to me. The fact that after this second double bottom, we were able to rally off of that level and put in a higher high, higher close. That was really the move that gave me confirmation about which way I would predict the market to go in the future. And of course, my underlying analysis, my overall higher time frame analysis is in line with that as well. But the fact that we were able to create that higher high, higher close, retest our level of structure again. I had some DSR levels in here giving us a nice little zone. Retest this level of structure again, put in some nice bullish divergence here on the RSI. And again, we were oversold. If we go down to the 60, let me just show you this real quick. Down on the 60, we had initially went oversold right down here. You can see the massive amount of bullish divergence here on the RSI as well. And we took the trade, took a buying opportunity, and well, the rest is history. So now that you have an idea of what the initial trade looks like, well, I guess here's how it played out. Why that instead of the recent highs though? Well, when I look for targets, I ask myself the question, you may call me a punk, you may call me a little scared little kid, but I think like the other trader. And I ask myself the question, where is the safest place that I can remove targets at? So think like the other trader. Where are, in this case, the bears likely to involve themselves at? And where is the safest place that I can remove targets at? And for me, this is going to be that level. Not only do we have the psychological number, but we have a level that was tested and held before. We saw a little probe of that level right here. A hold of that level right near 3302. We saw a little spike of that level here as well. Now, this is going to be the most recent level of structure. I have no problem with looking at this level to take profits at. I have no problem for a trader saying, hey, this is where I'm going to take profits at, or retest the previous structure highs. I just believe there's a chance that price will react at this level due to the psychological number and the inside level of structure here. And for me, I'm not willing to sacrifice an extra 40 pips versus that level of danger. So I look at this trade and I see this. The two levels I'm looking at. First level, potential 99 pips of profit. Second level, potential 141 pips of profit. Is it worth the extra 41 pips out of a 100 pip trade to put myself at a level that has, in my opinion, a much lower opportunity of getting hit? And for me, it's not. It's not worth sacrificing 100 pips for that. So I wanted to update you on our Euro Yen trading opportunity from yesterday. It is now Wednesday morning, AM, if you can't tell by the deepness in my voice. And you can see it moved pretty well in our favor. Now, we're nowhere at the level where we can start getting excited about this trade. We're nowhere near those initial targets. But something that I can do is I can start reducing my risk here. You can see that initially on the trade, I believe we had about 65 pips of potential risk. Yeah, about 68 pips of potential risk. I can now move that risk up a little bit higher, right up to about 131.67. So it's not taking away all the risk, but you can see that initially the worst case scenario on this trade is that the market reverses and I lose about 68 pips. Now the worst case scenario, actually moved a little bit higher than this. The worst case scenario is I lose about 30 something pips. So reducing my risk on the back end. And that's something that traders do. Many professional traders aren't hitting the ball out the park all the time, meaning we're not coming into the market and getting these super trades. What makes us good and what makes us consistently profitable over time is the fact that we are able to see our profits through, meaning being disciplined enough to let our trades go to their expectations, not take it out early because I'm excited about 45 pips, right? I'm disciplined enough to see it through to the optimal target level, which is actually a little bit off now that I look at it. But we're also very good at reducing risk on the back end, meaning that once a trade goes in our favor, we start getting rid of that risk on the back end. So even if we do lose, we don't lose too much. You guys have probably heard it. Some people say letting their winners ride and cutting their losses short. I'm not a big fan of that term, but very similar. Letting our winners do what they're supposed to do and trying to reduce risk on the back end so that when we lose, it doesn't really bother us too much. So hopefully this ends up being a winning story, but either way, should provide a good lesson for you guys just about trade management and what's going through my mind as I sit through what is a somewhat longer term trade. Discipline. I was watching this Euro Yen. I'm not supposed to, but it's close to target, so I want to make sure that I exit manually if I have to. But I just had a brief flashback of the lack of discipline that I had as a younger trader. You can see we're trading up here about 86 pips in profit, and we're literally 8 pips away from my targets, and we've been here for the last half an hour, the last 45 minutes, and I just tweeted this out. Like, me as a younger trader, I would have taken profits off at 45 pips. I woke up this morning 45 pips in profit at a minor level of structure that could have been a little scary, right? This level of structure right here, I think it was. And I know that one of my biggest problems was taking profits early. I know that I would have looked at it and been like, well, minor structure, we could reverse. 45 pips is better than nothing. Let's just take the trade, right? Because the old saying goes, you can't go broke taking profits, right? You guys ever heard that? The old trading mantra, you can't go broke taking profits. You guys do understand that's complete BS. That is complete BS. But you can certainly go broke taking profits if you consistently take profits too early and you consistently take all of your losses or even take bigger losses than you're supposed to. But you can tell that you've become a disciplined trader. It's going to sound weird, but when you just no longer care. Or when you care very little. Obviously, I care. I'd much rather have it. I'd much rather have us hit targets, obviously, than be stopped out here. But I know the worst case scenario is that it's a break-even trade. So at worst, I won't lose any money. But it's gotten to the point where in my trading, the most painful thing I can do, because I know the result of it. I know the result of it. The most painful thing I can do, the worst thing I can do to my trading is sabotage myself, is break my trading rules. It took me years of doing so to realize how much pain that could potentially cause you. And unfortunately, most of the time change isn't made, or a mindset shift, a paradigm shift isn't made until you incur so much pain that you have no choice but to. But when you can make the shift to process over outcome, where the process of taking a good trade and following the rules, that weighs more in your mind than the outcome, whether it be making money, whether it be losing money, then you've set yourself up on a very successful path. Because in the long run, you're going to do well. The individual trade may not do well. The day may not do well. The week may not do well. But in the long run, you're going to find a massive amount of success with that mindset. Because the people that have the other mindset where it's results first, results first, results first, they eventually lose everything. Because that type of mindset causes them to take targets early, causes them to move stops up too soon or move stops back, and causes them to do all of the mistakes that end up sabotaging our trading and leaving us broke. So I thought it was a cool example, because I know some of you are looking at this and you're like, this is painful just watching. I'm not even in the trade. And I feel for you, right? Any of you guys feeling that way? And don't get me wrong, I'm not emotionless, right? I have emotions. I just brewed me a second cup of coffee to help calm the nerves. The difference is we can't act on those emotions. We can have them. It's okay. I used to be under the mindset where you can't even have emotions. No emotions, robotic. But you can have emotions. Just don't act on those emotions. So less than a few minutes after that conversation, we actually ended up hitting targets live. One of the tricks I like to do to really psych myself out is to distract myself from looking at a price chart by either throwing it on a different screen that's far, far away, or just by talking. That way I'm trying to teach a lesson instead of watching it tick and inch closer and closer to our targets. But it was a really good example. Silly me, I forgot to hit the record button, so I couldn't show you it live, but it was pretty cool to have that happen in front of the live room members, because it really is a test of discipline in the markets. And it's always cool to see how a professional trader handles himself when you're that close and when you're so tempted to breaking your rules and doing something that you're not supposed to. And I know some of you guys are saying, Akil, what's the big deal over taking profits early by a pip or two, right? It's stupid. It's foolish to be that stubborn. But again, we're looking and thinking long picture here, and it's really not about the outcome. It's not about this trade smashing targets or anything like that. It's not about this individual trade. It's about setting yourself up for the future and installing those right habits. Because I'll tell you what, one trade really doesn't make a difference. But if you develop the right habits, you're going to be able to take and manage trades better on a consistent basis. And when you start doing that, that's when you see the bigger long-term term outcomes in your trading. So always a cool example, and always a cool example we can make some good money as well. So very good trade, and glad I can share this with you guys. All right, so one last update. You can see that target twos were hit for another 45 pips or so. So all in all, pretty good trade. Both targets hit. And now we'll come back tomorrow and we'll redo our analysis and look for the next opportunity. But two good examples of how patience pays. I do expect to see some type of retracement off of this level. Just seeing how we're losing momentum in the previous structure with bearish divergence on the RSI, but we'll leave that for tomorrow. So glad you guys can join me for this. If you like what you saw and you're looking to be more involved, I recommend checking out the live trading room. We offer a 1-week free trial offer, so you can come in and get your feet wet, see if it's the right fit for you before making any type of commitment. But I think you'll enjoy it. We have a fantastic community of traders. You can see we do some awesome analysis on a regular basis, and the conversations that we have both outside of trading and inside of trading are just fantastic. It really gives the trader a sense of community, and it really helps push you to the next level in your trading journey. So come in and check it out. We have a New York room, which I host. We have a London room, which Jason Greystone hosts. And again, do something to take your trading to the next level, and it starts with surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals and a mentor that can walk you through and help you clear those hurdles. So I'll see you guys in the live room, and until then, take care.